And then there's been another discovery called Adam's calendar, also known as Enki's calendar. Enki's calendar is a reference to the Anunnaki, which is supposedly the name of the ancient aliens that came here and made us fanciful, I know, but entertaining and interesting nevertheless. Adam's calendar is reported to be the oldest man-made site on the planet. The oldest man-made site on the planet. Tens of thousands of years old. Similar to Stonehenge. Lots of research has been done on it. It has an incredible energy. Apparently GPSs don't work there, cell phones go haywire. Also, it has sacred geometry. It has alignments to Orion's belt and constellations and those kind of things. And this is also in Mpumalanga.
You can see there that it's not at 12 o'clock. Can you see in north-south? There's a circular effect. North-south doesn't sit at 12 o'clock, it's out.
Yes.
About 3¼ degrees. And that's impossible for it to be out because that's true north and south, not magnetic north. And that is a huge problem. So it tells us that this site was built at a time where north-south is not where it is today.
And it is, isn't it?
What happened?
But the history of the stone is a remarkable history that takes us on an amazing journey of discovery about Adam's calendar, what it originally was, and how this stone was removed from that site and landed up here. And it takes us to the discovering that Adam's calendar is not a new discovery. It was rediscovered by Jan Heine in 2003. He spent 3 years or so working on it on his own, realizing that it's an ancient calendar site aligned with the equinoxes, solstices and movement of the sun, and then realizing that there was something else going on with the site and found out that this stone was missing, that there was a hole. When we get to the site, you'll see where the stone used to stand. And the site is known to ancient African knowledge keepers, or African knowledge keepers of ancient knowledge, not ancient African knowledge keepers, as Inzalo Yelanga, or birthplace of the sun, where humanity was created by the gods to be the slaves in the gold mines. Nothing new. The story continues. Inzalo Yelanga, birthplace of the sun, not just necessarily sun as in the sun, but also the sons of the gods. So it's got a double-edged meaning. So Creator Mutwa tells me that this stone is known as, he refers to this as the clitoris of Mother Earth. And it becomes more evident as to why he says this when you realize what the stone most likely was doing in the site. Remember, we spoke already about the technology. We're dealing with ancient advanced silicon-based technology, using the silica and the quartz in the original form in the stones. You don't have to extract this quartz, put it into little chips, put it into shiny metal boxes so you can sell it to some dumb schmuck as advanced technology that they have to replace every year. You keep the technology in its original form and use it there, where it is the most efficacious and most energized. And if you know how to use it, that's where it works for you. And this is why all these ancient sites are now, it's very easy to understand and explain how and why they worked as very powerful energy generating devices. Like the pyramids, like Stonehenge, like Adam's calendar, and Borobudur, all the ancient sites. Giant, the temples in Egypt, giant circuit boards. That's what they are. Silicon-based technology on a humongous scale that we could never have imagined. So this stone was removed in 1992, 2 years before it found its way back to this site and used to hold up a plaque. Then the aliens came down and they carved this pyramid. No, I'm kidding. No. This was the original plaque they put up. Why it was in the shape of a pyramid, you reach your own conclusion. But it was made of copper or bronze. It was obviously valuable to somebody because it's all about the money, isn't it? So once again, money is the cause of destroying an ancient site. So the original plaque was here, and then they came back and they put up this totally useless piece of tin that nobody would want to steal, to tell us that this site was opened by the Minister for Environmental Affairs in 1994. Isn't that fantastic? They desecrate an ancient site and they tell us how proud they are by putting the plaque onto one of the stones of the South African Stonehenge, right here. So when Johan first discovered the site, he, if you haven't read the book Adam's Calendar, and I came up with the name Adam's Calendar because when I met Johan, he just called it the calendar. So when I had to write the book about it, I wanted to come up with a catchy name. You can't just call it the calendar. So I thought, well, it's one of the oldest sites on Earth, and Adam was the first human, so let's call it Adam's Calendar. And little did I know how close to the truth I was when I called it that. And again, it's some sort of divine resonance or intervention that took place there. And that name is now stuck. If you Google it, you look, everyone's calling it Adam's Calendar, which is really interesting. So I'm going to copyright it and charge everyone $10 every time they use the name.